it's Lynette with Charm Grammy Crochet. How are you today? Today is Wednesday. We're going to be I'm going to be hosting the live tonight with Juan and Nancy and Lynanne for Boggy Creek Blanket unboxing. So that's hopefully going to be fun. I hear Juan has a lot of boxes. But by the time you see this, this will probably have happened yesterday. Because I film a video, then I let it upload, and then I add the music, and then it takes another 65 hours. Not 65, but it takes a couple of hours, and so this will probably go up tomorrow. It just makes it easier, which will be Thursday, which will be luck of the draw day. So yay! But I just wanted to catch up on a couple of things. I want to thank you for showing up again today. I appreciate it so very much. If you're new, I hope that you find what you like and you come back again and again. If you've been around for a while, again, thanks again for coming back again and again. So let's see, what do we have to talk about today? I don't know. I think I did. I showed you the Boho bag. This is a pattern by the Make and Do crew. And I kind of have it ready, but not so much. So, the bag, what had happened was, I didn't follow directions. So for this bag, you make 2 squares and 2 triangles. And you sew the bottom of the squares together, and then you sew the triangles. I made the triangles wrong. Apparently, so let's start with, I'm going to fold the triangle so you don't see. The square looks like that. And I did the large square, and I really love it. Then I made the triangles. So here is a triangle. And it's like kind of wonky. And I couldn't figure out why it's wonky. But you make 2 of these, and like I'm following the pattern directions. Now my friend Jan, an Alaskan crafter, made one of these. I think she did the smaller one. I did the extra rows because I wanted it bigger. Well, when she did hers, you get to the top, it looks like this. It's flat. Mine looks like I did 2 squares. I did not do squares, and when you laid them flat, before I sewed them together, they were flat and triangular. So, I didn't quite understand what I was doing, apparently. What I did, what you were supposed to do when you're making the triangle is you only added 2 sides. You come here, and then you come here, and you turn, and you come back, and you do this. Well, it was late when I started making the triangle, and I read the pattern, and I'm like, oh, so you go around, I get it. You're just going to do, you know, like single crochet, or double crochets, and crochet a triangle. So I made a triangle. I didn't pay close enough attention, I guess because I was tired, that you were only supposed to do 2 sides of the triangle like this. Well, if I had done 2 sides of the triangle, then my bag would be like Jan's and be square or flat at the top. But I was creative and I did mine my own way, I guess. So mine doesn't look like this. Mine looks like this, which I still like it. And I didn't realize what I had done wrong until I already had it sewn together, and the ends are all woven in, except for this very last end right there. That's the top border row, which there should be in the regular one, like 3 rows, I think, of a top border row. I'm not doing that, because it's just going to make this, you know, worse. So I'm not doing that. It's okay. It's my bag. I can do what I want. But in the meantime, I had decided that Joe from Joe's Web, my friend, went to Hobby Lobby, and she came back one day and showed us this really cool And let me get it out of the bag because I got things going on here. This really cool. You get this in the ribbon section. I bought 2 yards. It was not cheap and bad for Hobby Lobby. It was 40% off ribbons and blah, 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 blah. But if it's by the yard, you don't get that 40% off. But look at the colors. So I think, yeah, this is, no, that's not where the repeat of colors ends. Anyway, totally love it. I am going to say that it's machine done somehow. It must really be like I got an embroidery machine, I bet. Anyway, I thought I want to make a crossbody strap, and I'm going to use all of these colors because nice and brighten it up, right? I love the neutral of the bag, and then I thought when I saw this, and the background color matches the yarn so perfectly, like they were made to go together. So when I saw the bag that Jan was making, I'm like, oh my God, I have the perfect yarn for that. It's not the yarn she was originally using. She was using a different yarn, a thick yarn, and I'm like, no, no, no. I need to make that out of this cotton, what the hell is it? Cotton or coconut cake. I need to make it out of this coconut cake. And this is, the color is marshmallow. Very neutral. I'm like, that's the perfect thing for this bag. Even with the little coconutties, the little fuzzies off of it. I thought I totally, this is the perfect yarn for this. The pattern says to hold 2 strands together. Jan said she did not, so I did a panel with only 1 strand. I didn't like the thickness of it. I wanted it to be chunkier. So I did grab the second cake and I held 2 together, and this is what I came up with. Now I'm going to, I want to machine sew this, and I want to line the bag. So, as you guys know, or if you may know, you probably know, we did just recently buy a camper, and that camper does not have curtains in the doors, and I'm debating on buying the pleated shades that they sell to go with it. They sell it separately. Why wouldn't you put the curtains in the doors? They're like $20. What's the big deal? Just put the daggone things in there. But then I thought, okay, I really don't want to do pleated shades. I would rather have, since they don't come with, it would be really cute, I thought, if I put curtains on tension rods and just put them inside the windows. And maybe I would make several different kinds, like some that have that, like a camping theme to them. You see that fabric, the little campers all over. I thought that fabric would be cute. We are from Ohio. My husband is a big Browns fan. He's a big Guardians fan. He's a big Ohio State fan. So maybe I could make some for, depending on the season, we could change them out. So I thought, well, maybe, just put them on some tension rods and stick them in there. How easy. And then we could take them down. Or if you wanted to see outside better. So I thought, well, I'm gonna see. And so if I'm gonna sew the curtains, I'm gonna sew the bag at the same time, because getting to my sewing machine is a project right now. So I'm holding off on any more on this until I determine if I'm also making curtains the same day. And what I will do is just lay this out on the fabric and kind of trace it. I got a snag on my fingernail all of a sudden, and it's catching. I don't know how I snagged it. There we go, all better. So I will lay this on the fabric and just kind of trace it and then sew it you know, together and then stick it inside. And in between the fabric, I will add the strap. So since I'm doing this as the strap, this is also supposed to have fringe hanging. And the fringe, I thought with, these are my tails that I cut off, and I thought, oh, these are long enough to be fringe because the bag is now long, so I don't want the fringe to be too long, but this is long enough to be fringe, this leftover. So with the fringe, and I'm just gonna, you know, put it in and let it hang down like that. But do you remember a few, I don't know, maybe a year ago, year and a half ago, I made, where did my other cake of yarn go? Oh, it's still in the bag, duh. I made a cover-up from Hobie. It was sponsored by them. And they sent me this yarn. I mean, I requested it. This is, I have leftovers over here. This is Friends Wheel. It's the cotton, or Twister, that's it. It's the Twister solids. And I have all of these wonderful colors. I couldn't get them all back in the bag. I had them all shoved into this bag. Yeah, I know, I'm using my fingers on my teeth. Put stuff down. Okay, here we go. Let's pull out some of these wonderful colors. Look at how well these all match. They go together very well. I'm using all these colors. And I'll incorporate some of these because these are thicker. This is a thinner yarn, but I'm just going to incorporate some color into the fringes. And I'm going to use this Hobie Twister and then put my strap on. And I'm so excited to get it done, but I'm not pulling out the sewing machine twice. I'm not that big of a fan of sewing, so and nothing against sewing. I just I'm not extremely proficient, and so it is what it is. I will sew, and I'm not going to put the fringe on until after I've made the liner and put that in, because I don't want to deal with the fringe getting all tangled while I'm, you know, screwing around with the liner. So that's where this project is going, and it's done until further notice. When we go to the camper this weekend, the windows and the doors are tinted. All the windows are tinted black. From the outside, they look like they're black, but you can see through them very well on the inside. I don't know how well you can see through them, like see in from the outside. Do you know what I mean? Particularly with the lights on. And the only reason that I care, I mean, obviously, when you're like in at night, you don't want the light shining in and it looks like you have a spotlight on yourself. You want some privacy. You don't want all the people that you don't know around you watching you. So, the door in the bedroom needs to be, like, you know, private, and we don't want the sun coming in and waking us up. And so that, and the door in the living room, if it's not where you'll be seeing us so much, unless you're like really in the kitchen area of the camper. If you watch my video that I made, you will understand like the setup of the camper, and the door in the window, you could see if I was like at the sink or whatever. But if you're sitting on the couch, you're really not going to see in. And I'm thinking maybe I don't even want that door to have a cover permanent, you know, like, because the door is covered by the screen. So there's two doors. So there's your exterior door and there's your screen door. In order to put a curtain or raise or lower a blind or a curtain in the door, you have to be outside the camper, have the screen door closed and the main door open, and like stand on the stairs if you want to adjust the screen. I mean the curtain or the blind or whatever you put in the window. And I'm like, well, that's a pain. What if it's raining? You gotta stand outside in the rain and adjust your curtain uh, in between the doors. Not a good setup as far as that goes. In our bigger camper, our old camper, the door has like that bathroom glass. It lets light in, but you really can't see into it. Um, so then I was thinking maybe I'll buy the $20 screen uh, because it's room darkening and it's made to fit in there for the bedroom door, and just leave it closed all the time, even though that'll really cut down on the light in that bedroom. Um, but fussing with it is just not something I'm going to want to do on a regular basis. I'm going to be honest with you. So, um, so then I'm thinking I'm not going to want to fuss with the other one either. And so we need to see how well you can see out of that before we decide if I'm making curtains, buying blinds, or leaving it as it is. Right now I'm voting, I think, for leaving it as it is. Maybe make a curtain just in case. I could put it up if I needed to. But for the most part, it would just be the way it is. So that's going to be determined this weekend. So next week, I'm going to make my liner. All that to be said, this project is on hold until after the weekend. Next weekend, hopefully we will get, or after next week, we'll get that finished. I have worked on my Boggy Creek blanket that was the Tunisian, that is no longer Tunisian. So this was what's left of what was Tunisian. At the very end, this is what is now no longer, oops, it's upside down, but it really doesn't matter. And this is going to be a Boggy blanket, and this is what it's looking like. This is the majority of 2.5 skeins. There's this much left of 2 skeins. Yeah, 2 skeins of the Sunset Ombre from Big Twist, and this is a half a skein of Dreamweaver yarn. So when I finish this, I'll do another half a skein of the bright yellow of the Dreamweaver, and then go into the last skein I have of this. If it's not long enough, and it's looking like it might not be, if it's not long enough, then I will get another skein of this and add it in. So I have plenty of the yellow. Maybe I should have made this section longer. But that's okay. That's okay. I just frogged from one and turned it into another. So it's getting there. I work on it a little at a time, my crochet time, even though doesn't seem like I'm getting anything done. I did do my, and I showed you, I'm pretty sure I showed you the Wipeout Wednesday. Today is Wednesday, so the new video comes out and the new project I have seen. So this is week number 1. This is a crochet along with Laura from Man Mimi's Crochet and Farming, and we are using this book, 52, is that a year of dishcloths? Yeah, a year of dishcloths. There's 52, and we're starting with the winter ones, but she's not doing them in order in the book. In the book, you can get this off of Annie's or Amazon. It's cheaper on Amazon. And it's cotton, you want to use cotton yarn probably. Unless you don't want it to be a washcloth, then you can do whatever you want. But the first week was the penguin, and this is my penguin. Week number 2, she picked the wreath, and this is my wreath. And I'm not telling you what is week number 3. You have to watch the video. When I'm done with it, I'll show it to you. And so go over to Laura at Mimi's Crochet and Farming. find out what week number three's project is. I obviously haven't started it yet. um, maybe by the time you see this video, I will have started it this evening. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Then, the last thing I wanted to show you that I've been working on, we did Lynanne from Nina's Knots Crochet. I always want to put a next in there, and there's no next. Oh, can't forget to put the hook in with it. I will be so sorry. Okay, so we were talking one day, and we came up with this idea that we have all this yarn, you know, your fancy yarns that you kind of collect and then don't know what to do with. And I have a room full of that. She has a room full of that. Well, my room isn't full of that, but I have more than I thought, actually. And I can't I can't ever find the perfect project. And so the yarn sits there. And she has the same thing. And I'm like, how about you pick your yarn, I'll pick my yarn, and you pick me a project, I'll pick you a project. So we thought that was a great idea. So then we ran it by the Zoom, you know, our Zoom friends, and we were talking about it, and they're all like, oh, I want to, I want to, I want to. So there were 10 of us that said, okay, we'll put our names in a hat, we'll pick names, and then, you know, we'll have a week to pick a project. So we're calling this the Special Reserve Yarn Project, hashtag SRYP, or syrup. So I'm calling it our syrup project. It's hashtag syrup. And I started my project. Bree is my partner, and I picked, we were to pick 2 patterns for your choice. We know each other a little bit. Well, kind of a lot of it. We know each other, and so we have an idea of what we would like, and you want it to be a pattern that they're going to really like, and a project you're really going to like for the yarn that they have that's their special yarn. So, everybody seemed to have a good time with it. We had a live, we revealed the projects, and then the recipient of the patterns got to determine which pattern they wanted to make. And everybody was jumping on the bandwagon because we've been in Zoom a couple of days now, and everybody's like just so excited to get their projects going. And I am sorry to say, I think I kind of failed at my end of the job. Not really that she didn't like the patterns. She did like the patterns that I picked. I picked 2 patterns by Drops Crochet, for sweaters for Bree. Breezy's Crafty Creations is her channel. She has a couple of shorts. She really doesn't do videos, but she does do crafty things, and so does her husband, actually. So I picked a couple of sweaters for her. She had 1,300 yards of DK weight, and one was like a duster, light though. She lives in Florida. And the other was a sweater, also like lacy, because she lives in Florida. So I'm thinking she needs not to be too warm. But she wanted, she picked the sweater, not the duster, because she didn't want it to be as lacy as I picked for her. But she really loved the sweater. But we were in Zoom. She was having such a hard time with the pattern. She couldn't make it work. So we went looking for other patterns, and we looked together this time, and she did find a pattern that she likes, and so she's starting over, I'm sorry to say. She picked for me a couple of patterns, one being a scarf, which is kind of what I was having in mind, a scarf or a cowl, something like that, out of the yarn that I picked out. And so I've started it. So my yarn is, I have 2 skeins of this green, and this is Cascade Yarns Cloud. It is Superwash Merino and Alpaca, and it's, let's see, 164 yards. I have 2 skeins of this, and then I have 1 skein of this Ruby Imps Farm Hand-dyed Superwash Merino 100%, 273 yards in the color Sweetie. And it is this color. And so I started the project. I have this much done. Yes, I have lots of ends to weave in. Oops, you can't even see. So there they are. Ends on both ends. And I'm really loving the way that it's looking. Um, it's a yarn down. Oops, sorry, didn't need to shake you, but it'll be a really nice scarf. The thing is, like, I think I've used maybe close to half of this cake of yarn, and that's all the bigger I got. So it might end up being a cowl, even though it said that I had plenty of yarn for the project. It wanted a 5mm hook, but I am using a 6 because I wanted it squishier. And this part is like almost tight. This is very squishy. You know, it's a front post, back post. But there's a lot of texture, and I'm thinking that I'm going to give this back to my daughter. She bought the yarn for me, and I'm just thinking it will go back to her because of the wool in it. So far, so good with me working with it. I do have some intolerances to wool, but people said that the Superwash Merino should be able to use, and so far, so good. I've worked on it a couple of times, done like 2 sections, and then, gone on to other things, and it's turning out to be okay, so that's good. Um, and maybe I'll end up keeping it. We'll see. It's supposed to be a scarf, but it might just be a cowl, even if it's a long cowl that she can twist up. She loves to do that, my daughter. Um, I generally don't like to have a bunch of stuff around my neck. It makes me feel like I'm choking. I need loose. So if it's a loose cowl, that would work for me as well. A scarf would be fine because I can always wear it loose. So we'll see how it goes, but I'm really thinking that that'll be a Christmas present for Amanda, and I know she'll recognize the yarn, and I'm 100% sure that she will love it. I did one other thing, and I will insert the 2 pictures that were taken. I did give my friends at the camper their PP gnomes, and they loved them. They thought that was hysterical. Uh, so there were 4. Uh, well, 4 including mine, but I didn't, you know. Anyway, they had a great time with their gnomes, and they thought they were really fun, and I gave them to them. They came to see the new camper when we pulled it in, and so I gave them their gifts then, and they really enjoyed them. So I will, like I said, insert a couple of pictures, and that is all I have for you today. If you see this today on Wednesday, make sure and pop in for the live and see the blankets that are being made for Boggy Creek. If you see this tomorrow and you didn't see the live, go back and watch the replay. I'm sure there's a bunch of beautiful blankets. There always are. You guys are so generous and creative with your blankets. We appreciate it so very, very much. The goal is 2,025 blankets in 2025 because that's when we deliver is in 2025. So it's hashtag 2025 and 2025. And then we have another hashtag fill that truck and Boggy Blanket Brigade 2025. So we have a couple of hashtags there. We do have a Teespring shop where all of the proceeds for the Boggy Blanket Brigade swag go to Boggy Creek itself. And there is a playlist for the tumbleweeds. A tutorial for how to make the tumbleweeds. They're little pom-pom necklaces that they give out at the camp. And there is a playlist for all the creators that have created a blanket specific for Boggy Creek. I started a playlist for that, and they are all in there, all in the description box underneath this video. Actually, all that's in all of my videos. So if you want any help with making decisions on making a blanket, some new blankets, this blanket that I am making currently is in there. This is the one of the ones, and I think this is the campfire stitch. Blanket by Angela from My Precious Yarnery. I am doing the Luck of the Draw 9 Boggy Creek edition from Trisha's pattern, which I'll show you. I didn't bring it over here. I'll show you in another video. Well, the new number gets drawn tomorrow. Uh, so when I have the new color on, I'll show that to you. And that'll be week 5, I think, for that one. So I'm very anxious to see what the number is because we have 2 numbers that have not been drawn, and that's all on the same color of yarn for me. And I need that color to be drawn because I just can't wait to get it in the blanket. So she has two chances to get the right number for me. I hope that we get it. And I did chew her out about that already. I have 2 colors that have already been used twice and 1 color that hasn't been used at all. And I only have 4 instead of 8 colors to make the colors come out more often. Just because it's only a 10-week crochet long. Okay, so that blanket, oh, that's where I was going with this. That blanket is also in the Boggy Creek playlist, and I love that one. Juan did the tutorial for it. It is, I know I always say it wrong, Trish, but it's something to do with the log cabin. Fireside log cabin, something. You'll see it. It's beautiful. It's a 2-row repeat. Real easy. This one that I'm doing over here from Angela is 1-row repeat. Really easy. I love those kind of blankets. So that's what I got for you today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching, liking, subscribing. All the things that you have to do for YouTube. If YouTube likes it, I like it. And I will see you guys hopefully tonight or yesterday, whatever you see this. And see you in the next video. Bye-bye.